What's up, guys? It is Midnight Hatter here, and I'm joined by Chris, aka Drakmordigital,
Yep.
for the much anticipated, only a couple weeks late, 2 weeks late
Yeah.
on our build challenge reveal for the Mundane Gundam build challenge that we started at the beginning of March. Now, I'm sure people will forgive us for a little bit of the delay in getting this out with everything that's going on.
It's getting a little crazy out there. So
Yeah. I hope you didn't have to like punch any old ladies for art supplies.
only three. And also help them up afterwards while taking the art supplies.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good deal, man. Well, it's good to see you. I've missed
Yeah.
you.
Oh, thank you. I missed you too, bud. It's definitely been one of those things where it's like it's been hard to social distance as online as well as off. So doing my best.
Indeed. Well, cool. Well, let's I won't drag this thing out too long. If you want to walk us through, I've got let's pull up your All right, so looking on stream here, I've got this is one of your early progress shots. I think that this is one that you had sent during one of your update videos. It's just
I think
the
yeah,
frame.
definitely is. This is just the base frame. And I run through a few of the old pictures just to kind of give a base idea of what's going on. You kind of go through, you get a nice like build of the actual outer frame itself, which took a little bit of doing. I'm not super knowledgeable about building you know, your whole interior. I'm definitely not no interior like designer, no builder like that, but I had a base idea and kind of put it all together. It's a little wonky at certain spots as you kind of look forward through the pictures. There are little bits that kind of hang off in the wrong direction, but
Well,
it
we're not
mocks up.
architects here.
No, but it mocks up well, and that's kind of the whole situation. That's the where it works out. You actually start seeing um, the staircase now,
Oh yeah,
which definitely was fun. I'm glad it finally finished up. I also feel a little cheated. I think the guy, I my last trip to the hobby store gave me the wrong kind of top coat
really?
because it ended with it being a little murky and muddy. I wasn't super stoked. It's not bad. It's just some about it.
Was it
It's definitely
like
not.
a semi-gloss or like a flat?
It's a flat, and it was a lacquer, which I thought would be fine, but it just I don't know. I'm not gonna knock him for it. It was a little crazy in there. There were a lot of people going around, and his stock was pretty low. So he was like, this one will work." And I was like, "Okay,
You're the expert. It's like
yeah, right."
um
Um,
oh yeah, I see this is one of your shots from painting.
mhm. Oh yeah, and then you get
Yeah, if you want me to
into
zoom in on any of these, let me
sure.
know.
That's just in the midst of me spraying everything down and kind of like getting it ready. I had to get everything taped up so the ABS didn't take any of the lacquer. Has a tendency of making it a little bit brittle.
Yeah.
So I was trying to be as cautious as possible with this guy. I've had other ones, especially RGs, have moments of like getting brittle and snapping in certain spots and having to deal with it afterwards.
See, I didn't. Well, and I know that they have a ton of ABS in them compared to
Hmm.
like your high grades.
Hmm. A lot of like the extra pieces of the inner frame, the thing that go on the like stay behind the main um like actual armor plates uh are ABS. And so I was a little concerned. That's why you see like the edges taped up. You see a lot of the workings around the lower torso I taped up too.
Yeah, I see
Uh
that, especially like in around the groin area.
mhm, mhm, mhm. And then the next shot is the start of the front door, which again, not really knowing, not being an architect, not really knowing what to do. I was just like, yeah, this works, and it stood in place, and it was good. Uh, but I feel like it has gotten better post just the frame itself.
Yeah, definitely. And hey, it stood up. That was the
It stayed in place. I am profoundly impressed, not at myself, just at the fact that wood sticks together as it does.
And this is
Uh,
100% balsa, right?
uh, yes, except for main 4 points on the outside. I left the base, the floor and the actual corners to be hardwood, just so it had a little bit more structure to it. Everything else though is balsa, which has been a dream to work with.
Oh yeah.
Like I should have been doing this on the previous build. It was so simple and so easy. A mixture of the balsa and the miter box. Oh man, it was just really nice.
That's awesome. Some of the early posing work I see here.
Yep. He stayed on that couch. My RG Astray stayed on that couch probably most of the build, and finally has relinquished his spot.
I think that the print is so perfect.
hmm I looked online. I went for the gaudiest couch I could find. And then just again, as you go through the next few, it's all just setting up the outer frame and making sure everything kind of sits well.
Sure.
Any of the sides that don't really have any doorways or anything like that are pretty standard. Excuse me.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, don't worry, you're
Uh,
not gonna infect me over
it's true.
over the call. um, and I dig this. Is this like a weaving technique that you used, or oh no, those are individual beams.
Yep, those are individual beams held together by hopes and wood glue. God, I wish I had something thought of like weaving technique. No, no, no. You give me too much credit. But yeah, and then you got a nice top down shot once I got the whole frame done. Also, at that point, I believe you can see that the
Oh,
um,
in the
the stair the stairs are all done, at least as done as they are. If you look now, the mock up for the stairs is there are a lot of spots that are empty, but it makes a very good uh, profile, which
yeah,
is all that I cared about.
right. You're only seeing it from the one angle, so
Mhm.
it's like building a Hollywood house.
Yep, exactly. Set design. That's what I'm working on. Set design. That's
There
the
you
next
go.
thing. And then I just used something simple. I did actually for like a wallpaper. I just used a poster board, and then painted it with like an eggshell to give it that kind of old like 50s house kind of cream color.
I like it.
Going on to past that, I finished up the walls. I added frames to the doors and windows. I think either we're gonna get to the next section where it's got the door on the set in, or it's got the side. Oh yeah, this is the
Yeah,
side room, which is just two panels to make it look like there's more of a hallway.
very nice. Yeah, I've been watching a
Excuse
lot
me.
of those like break videos on YouTube lately where they
Mhm.
like, take video games off camera and like show you that a lot of the rooms that you think are around the corner aren't actually there. So
Oh
it's
yeah. Oh, what is it? Even back in like Doom, you got the icon of sin has the Romero's head just stuck right behind the point where you're supposed to hit.
exactly.
And then the door, super simple, just a piece of foam board, little paint, little etching, and then I used a furniture tack for the doorknob.
Oh, that's smart.
It was just the right size, and I was like, "Hey, I got a couple of those from the last build."
Nice.
And then you just got some balsa for the wood, and then you actually have final test designs for the finished shot. This I believe is the final of the shots, and that's kind of the official product. It uses a few things like LEDs and a few different other bits. I have these touch lights that I like to use as side lights.
Oh, nice.
So it's
Oh, and
good for
how many colors does that?
7, I believe,
That's pretty
including 2
impressive
white.
for like just a little tap light.
It's really helpful for things like toy photography when you need to add a little bit of backlighting to figures, especially in the 6-inch variety. But
That
yeah.
is awesome. And I do have to draw attention to the miniature Coca-Cola bottle.
Mhm,
That
mhm.
that is so awesome.
Oh yeah, you got the Coke bottle in his hands, and then on the ground, it's very hard to see, but there is a couple booze bottles kicking around,
Yeah.
as well as a hot dog on the table. And it's just I lovingly call this now, what is it? Uh, social distancing in the UC era.
I like it. I like that a lot actually. And I mean, I had the same feeling when I was working on mine, and I think it comes through in some of the
Hmm.
photos that I'm going to show of
Heck
my
yeah.
final build.
Word. I'm stoked to
Um,
see it.
so yeah, if you are ready, I will go ahead and share
Do
this
it.
sucker.
Let me see. I've been waiting.
All right. Might have to turn this music down.
Word. Ooh.
So my build is primarily, as you saw, um, foam core that I
Yep.
peeled the backing off of, carved some textures into it, and just did some paint. Like I said, I definitely got way distracted with the gimmicks that I built
Hmm.
into this, and so there's not as much of not as many details as I would have liked to
Yeah,
work
but
into it.
it looks really good. Like again, that whole brick texture that you were talking about in your update video, it blew me away. I was like, I need to do this now. Like I have to do this for something.
Now there is a cheat. There's the cheat way of doing it. Oh, Jelly Deal, which I think that's Soft Machine, right? Watching in the chat. It's the Jim, the Build Fighters kit.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Um, but oh yeah, sorry. What was I gonna say? I got distracted.
The cheat for the
Oh yeah, the cheat for the foam texturing is you can actually go to Green Stuff World and get like the roller,
Mhm.
the rolling pin textures, and you can do that on the foam core, and it gets the same results, but probably a lot easier than hand carving it like I did.
Whoa. I
So,
mean, though it gives it like that I don't even know. It just gives it a very realistic look because you had the whole like paint the original color, then basically dry brush over it to not fill in the gaps, and it's just like something you do for miniatures, and to do it for like actual brick texture is like it just mind blown. So yeah, heck yeah, that looks awesome.
and so yeah, this is the final set. It's just a wall with a floor panel. Now, like I mentioned in the update video, that final the wood that I was gonna salvage from out back, it was completely rotten underneath. So I ended
Hmm.
up actually carving in the wood texture on the floor and
Damn.
doing the same sort of thing where it's like stained underneath like a dark brown, and then I dry brushed a light brown over top, and
Heck yeah.
I actually also hit it with some walnut ink to give it like a little bit more of a almost like a polished wood that's been worn down. And
Hmm.
then same thing with the sidewalk panels. um, yeah, base coat in black, and then dry brush some gray pavement over top. So yeah, like I said, I'm definitely missing a lot of the details that I would have liked to have in there, but
Hmm.
like I said, I got real distracted with making my tiny neon signs, and so I've got my black light going, and you can kind of see especially on the bar sign, you can see that it's catching the light and reflecting it and giving it that neon effect.
Dude,
I
the bar,
was,
yeah, both of them are looking great. The bar one is catching it hard.
oh
It's
yeah,
just cool now that you just have that, like, that set going too. It looks great. It looks like a little set piece you could just have in the background and have different models in there as you want.
yeah.
Like, mine, I'm definitely like, "It's cool." In pictures, it looks great. If I was to show it like you did, it's fine.
Well, I definitely learned a lot doing this challenge, and I think that it's one of those things that I'm gonna like add more to it because I'm never done with a project. I reach a point where I'm okay showing it to people, but
Yeah, I get that.
oh man. Well, very
Well,
cool. Well, if I were to vote right now, I would definitely say that we never even came up with like a criteria of like of how to rate a mundane Gundam a diorama build challenge. Uh, but yeah, if I were to go with level of detail and complexity of build, you definitely take those 10 out of 10. Uh,
I was gonna say, I think we both equally succeeded in what we were going for. and did a damn bang up job.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you kind of opening my world
Oh,
to these types of builds. I mean,
heck
it's not
yeah.
something that I would have gravitated towards naturally, and I know that we kind of mentioned that when we did the announcement live stream. Is it's not the first thing that Gunpla builders gravitate to.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it was just one of those things where I really liked I randomly a couple of friends were sitting around and we just kicking around that idea, and I just had to go with it that first time. And yeah, I'm really excited to do it again with this one. And I definitely feel like this has sparked that creative ilk in me again, and I kind of want to continue making another one after this. So I'm stoked. So thank you again for doing this with me. It's helped.
yeah, I mean, hobbies are fun with friends. It's
It's true.
um so now how would you say that your Mark II fits into your collection now with with you know, your existing Gunpla?
I mean, I might just keep him I might just keep them there. I might find a spot for this on my shelf and then get the uh red frame back up to snuff and put him back in his section cuz actually right over my shoulder you can see the original Mundane set right there. It's still up. It's just uh
Oh yeah.
unused anymore. So, I might just have to keep them both kind of set up. I don't know where I'm going to put them in my room, but I'll find someplace.
Yeah, there's always some place to put them. Well,
But great thing about having an RG kit, it's nice that they're superposable, so maybe I'll find something else to do with them.
RGs definitely make the best I guess Mecha Gaikotsu would call them the desk kits, the ones you
Yeah.
just like keep on hand to play with whenever you're kind of
Mhm,
fiddling with
mhm,
something.
mhm.
Um, and that was my thinking behind the Gym as well is, I didn't want to glue that cigarette into his mouth. So again, me being obsessed with the gimmicks, uh you'll see, I don't know if you'll be able to see really on this camera, but inside the helmet there's like a little splotch of black paint, and what that is holding in is that tiny magnet that I glued onto the tip of the cigarette. And so it sticks to the outside of the mask without being glued in place.
That again, that gimmick is super handy. I really need to remember that. I was just trying to figure out how I guess you'd probably be able to do that with the hands. I think maybe a little better with just a regular HG kit, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, and that was the other thing is, so like the Gym came with those just standard fist hands, and so I replaced them with the Jigen knuckle
Mhm,
build
mhm.
build fighter hands. And so and the benefit of them being the ABS plastic is it was easy enough to wedge the cigarette in between the fingers and not have to worry about it slipping out. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I gotta think about doing that. I might have to get those magnets or at least figure out where I can get those magnets from you, because those are super handy little bits of detail.
oh yeah, I mean, there was let me see, I think I've still got the pack of them. There's like a pack of like 50 on Amazon for a couple bucks. So it's not, and
Nice.
they come in a variety of sizes. This
Heck yeah.
particular size I had intended on using for the Gundam miniatures for the Gundam RPG, but
Yeah, yeah.
oh man, these guys are cracking me up in the chat. Mechanics hate him. Learn this one simple trick with magnets.
Dude, click here to learn more.
um, so yeah, and for me especially, like I was thinking to myself, do I want this Jim to sit and live permanently in social isolation inside the bar,
Mhm.
or do I want him to go up on the shelf with the rest of the kits? I
Yeah,
don't know. I think I need to find, especially if I put this guy up top, find a way to get the black light to shine down on him and
that'd
have
be
that
pretty
as a
sweet.
permanent fixture in the little set back here.
Yeah.
Oh man, well that's cool. So what is next on your build list? You don't have like a
Well,
backlog going, do you?
I have a small backlog. I actually have so I have the Gundam Wing kit, the MG kit that I got from the drawing from you, which is definitely on there. And I got a new set of nippers for this build, and I'm really excited to actually start using them on more and more kits just because they're so freaking nice to finally have a good set. Um, I actually have been sitting on a set of MG kits from 8th MS Team, a Goof Custom and an Easy 8 that I would love to make a diorama of just that moment right before the Easy 8 cracks the Goof in the side of the head with the arm.
That
I
is
already
awesome.
I already have them mostly built. Like, obviously, a lot of, detail and weathering has to go into them,
Yep.
but that's one of those ones that I've been sitting on for a long time, and I actually think I might finally have enough gumption and time, depending on how long this whole situation lasts, to actually start it or finish it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, it's funny you mention that because I have the high grade version of the Goof Custom and the Easy 8, and my intent is to make a diorama, which I've. Let me see if I can offer a sneak preview. I'll grab this
Cool.
real quick.
I'm glad you like it, Wolf. That scene is one of my favorites from 8th MS Team.
Struggling over here.
No worries.
So, I found this set online, which is like it's like a city block. They're all just, little
Oh,
plastic scale model buildings.
yeah.
And so my intent was to create that scene of the actual, like, where the Easy 8 cuts Norris Packard in half. And I've already started weathering the goof for that. I kind of busted open which this is tied into your scene, is
Mhm.
the busted open pipe on the
Oh, nice.
side, like after he got hit in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I've been in the process of weathering that goof for about 4 years. It's
Yep.
just one of those on and off again. I'm like, I really want to finish this project, but I don't. I didn't get the. I didn't have as much inspiration to finish it until after I found this set of buildings. It's like, so this is only half of the diorama entirely. It's
Dang.
it's like a full city block that, I mean, it's pretty close to scale for
Yeah.
a 1/44th kit.
Oh, yeah. That looks pretty on point with it.
So yeah, it's got like 7 buildings to it and 2 city blocks that you can put together in different formations. It's about $50. I wouldn't recommend ordering it now because I bought it on AliExpress, so you probably don't want that at the moment. But in a couple months, order that up, and they actually do have it in 100 scale too.
Oh, nice.
So
That's awesome.
something to consider if you need that backdrop for your scene of
Yeah.
the arm coming off.
Oh, man, that'd be super sweet. Yeah, I definitely wanna I can't tell if I want it just, like, the 2 models on, like, a base and have them just kind of, like, intertwined and nothing around them, or if I wanna have, like, a slight exterior for having, like, the buildings themselves as, like, the borders for the scene.
Yeah,
I've been, again, sitting on these kits for so long that I still have so much to figure out.
yeah, I
Heck
know how
yeah.
you feel.
That's
And
awesome.
oh, well, that and I know you saw on Twitter that my next build ideas for that Zaku too. So,
Heck yeah.
but first I have to reveal the horn with him and see how he's doing.
Heck yeah. Oh, man, you guys are yeah, both of your Zagaks are looking really good. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah.
And also, sorry, go for
No,
it.
no, you're good. I was gonna say again, just like with you, the level of detail that you guys put into it is way more than the level. Like, I might do more painting, but that's that's like my wheelhouse. That's where I'm comfortable.
Mhm, mhm.
He did a lot more scratch building.
That is something that I have not put enough time or effort into, and I really, really want to at some point. Like, just like from just some kit bashing and some scratch building for a model would be a really fun next step to try.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's one of those things down the road that I'm gonna work on.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. I don't want to bogart too much of your time, but is there anything else that you wanted to chat about while I've got you?
Um, I don't nothing in particular. I was gonna say, like, what are you doing for this whole social distancing thing for your D&D games? You keeping up on?
Well,
I heard.
we did cancel our we were supposed to play last night and we kind of postponed that which led to a series of jokes about like, oh, I'm sure we'll play before the Half-Life sequel comes out. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's
uh,
it's a good metric to figure out which is gonna come out first.
exactly, which then led to, talking about, well, I'm sure that Skyrim won't come out before like, or well,
Yeah.
the sequel to Skyrim, ESO 6.
Yep.
Um So yeah, they're in good spirits about it, but the idea is to definitely move our game online using the Astral virtual tabletop, which I pimp Astral so hard on like my Discord server. Everyone's like, roll 20, and I'm just like, I can't stand roll 20.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely I've used it I've used it for a couple games for myself, and I've played in a couple games, and it's clunky, it's hard, and it's really freaking expensive for,
Yeah,
like, a lot of the premium stuff, and it's just, like, it's hard to really want to do that, and because, again, you want all the premium stuff, and you want to be able to have as many people as you can on that, and it's just, like and as many players, and it just they really restrict you on Roll20. So I'm gonna check out Astral because I know a couple of my players are definitely gonna want to see a map.
yeah,
So
yeah, man. I highly recommend it, especially if as you mentioned, like, are you guys kind of postponing all of your games or?
so we postponed our Waterdeep game, which is sad because we were just about to get it. I just introduced my new character, and I was like, no, but it's okay. It's understandable, and it's partially because Jess and I aren't. We kind of have to quarantine ourselves because we got a little one, and
Exactly.
we had a little bit of a getting a cold scare, and we're like, nope, closing our doors. uh,
Everyone out.
yep, no one else. We're going online. And then we had to postpone our Tomb of Annihilation game, which has been up on the Swordcast Patreon for a while, just because we can't
Man,
meet up and record. But all the other games that we're playing, we're trying to move them online and see how well that works. Crossing our fingers.
cool, cool.
Uh,
Well, I mean, and this is one of the things that I've been trying to do anyway is move all of our at least the tabletop aspect of it over to Astral, and that
mhm,
way, you know, even when we're together, we're still going to broadcast our map using Astral. So,
mhm. Yeah, I definitely well, and especially if we ever want to do more like online streaming for our D&D games and not just our, the video that Justin puts out. Uh,
right.
I'd love to have a place to have our map seen by anyone watching.
Exactly. And it's so much easier when it's when it's you can just pipe the feed directly from the browser window as opposed to like having to
Oh
set
my
up a
god.
camera over your map and like make sure the angles are right and all that stuff.
Yes. As a person who just recently figured out how to do that, or at least tried to how to do that, it is something I'd much rather have on a browser.
Yeah. Well, and it looks like Wolf in the chat says that Roll20 is wanky, and Soft Machine says he uses Roll20 but has never tried any other service. So,
Mhm.
which I
I've heard
think that's most people. Most people, it's like you've either heard of Fantasy Grounds or Roll20, and that's it.
yeah, I've heard like and again, I've heard Fantasy Grounds is great, but there's a paywall to get through it.
Yeah.
And it's like I would love to be able to use all of that stuff and all those wonderful things I see people do, but it's like that paywall is hard. It's especially after buying like the books already. It's like
Yeah, for sure.
buying all the material twice sucks. Just does.
It does. And then like, if you manage any D&D campaigns on D&D Beyond, you're buying everything a third time
Yep.
because it'd be nice if they had like, single use download codes that you could use just as I mean, I understand like anti-piracy measures, you don't want people to reuse codes, but I mean, come on, Amazon does gift codes, Steam
For real.
uses redemption codes, like everybody can do it.
I swear I've heard that there's now talk that they're going to start adding codes into the books, but I'm not positive on that, and I have no. I just keep hearing like some of my players talk about it, and
Yeah,
so I can like cross my fingers. Maybe they'll have like a scratch off code or something where you use it once and you have to scratch off the like the film to actually see the code.
yeah,
Maybe. And that'd be sweet because yeah, especially with D&D Beyond, like their own product, you should be able to just go from one to the other.
indeed, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Cool. Well, do you wanna tell these guys where they can find you?
Sure.
Because I think you just started like taking off on YouTube, just putting off firing off a couple videos so
Yeah.
far.
I have 2 update videos right now, and I have a lot more in the works that I'm working on to get out soon, and so you guys can find me at Drakmordigital, on YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter, where you can find a lot of my builds, my photography, and soon to be my videos.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've definitely inspired me to up my toy photography game. So,
Sweet.
and I, you know, absolutely, I encourage everyone to check out Drakmore Digital on Instagram, where all of those photos live. That's where like the bulk of your content is right now.
At the moment, it is,
Yeah,
definitely.
but yeah, I'm excited to see you moving on to YouTube and yeah, I think we should definitely do another one of these build challenges. You definitely mopped the floor with me on this occasion, but I think that as I get more experience working in this, as you said, 1/12 scale, I
Mhm,
think that
mhm.
that I'll be able to put up a better challenge.
Well, I'm stoked to try the next time. Heck yeah, man. Oh, yeah, actually, the one thing I'm excited about doing with uh like, self-isolating thing, my wife and I are actually gonna be starting a little mini one player, one DM campaign that I'll be posting on my YouTube channel.
Oh,
So,
very nice. Do
yeah.
you have any details on that so far? Like whether you're going to be playing some modules from the what's the company on DM's Guild that does all the solo adventures?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't actually looked up. No, we're doing homebrew, straight up. Um We're gonna do. I haven't actually looked at any solo adventures, but I would love to. But we're gonna do one. It's kind of gonna be the basis for the next main campaign that my players outside of recorded games are gonna be playing. So we're gonna kind of figure out a few larger details that will help me write the story for that one. So I'm very
Okay.
excited about it. My character, my NPC that'll help her along is gonna be a warforged war wizard. So
Oh,
that
that's
should be fun.
so. Are you just using some of that content from Eberron, or are you going to be like setting it predominantly in Eberron, or?
Gonna use some of that content from Eberron, and it's gonna be my own world. I've been with the Swordcast. I built an island off the coast of the Sword Coast. With Dakatur, I really want to try building my own whole place.
That's
Uh,
that is an ambition that I can't say I have. I mean, I love world building,
mhm.
but that's a lot of work.
It definitely it's a thing. Thankfully, with the podcast, I have a co-writer, so
Ah,
this one's gonna be a lot of my own doing this time, and I'm very excited for it.
awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I am just in the process of I'm pasting these in the chat, the
Heck
DM's
yeah.
Guild solo adventure books. Um, these books are fantastic. I actually streamed myself playing one of them. They're designed to be played without a DM. They use a lot of like randomly generated maps and things like that.
Mhm.
I streamed my playthrough of one of them where I was quickly killed because I think I was killed by something obscure too. Like it was a very short jaunt in the woods for my
Oh,
dark elf character.
oh no.
Um, but yeah, you can adapt these rule books fairly easily to playing, one DM, one player. So hopefully they will be a good asset for you to borrow some
He
content from, and for you guys watching, I highly recommend these books.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. I'm stoked to check him out.
Sweet. Well, thanks again, man, and I hope that you survive social distancing thing without getting too much cabin fever, and all work and no play makes Drakmordigital a dull boy.
Yes, agreed. You too, though, bud. And I hope that I'm really excited for us to do this again soon.
Me too, man. All right, well, you take it easy. You
Thank
have a
you.
good afternoon, right? You're still
Yep.
pretty early in the afternoon.
Yeah, we're still rocking around 3:30 right now. So,
Good deal. I am gonna go have dinner.
will you enjoy?
Thanks, man. Well, you take it easy,
I'll do my best.
and I will catch you all later.
Bye, all.